What's up everyone, this is the Broke Gamer, and today I just want to talk about something that's been on my mind. With 2017 being here, it makes it kind of scary to be a gamer right now. And I say that because of the fact last year wasn't a really impressive year for games. Now we had No Man's Sky, Mighty Number 9, Mafia 3, countless delays for multiple other games that were eventually released, but who's to say that's not going to happen again this year? I think that we need to take some kind of initiative to learn from last year and move forward with it now. Some of these lessons that we can take from last year is just watching out for the hype in video games, not really pre-ordering games, and being really careful when funding a game. And the reason why I say this is because last year we've had a numerous amount of games that followed under these categories. For example, we had No Man's Sky, a game that was built on hype but didn't really live through it when it released. Now, when funding a Kickstarter, this is debatable due to the fact that, these games do turn out really well depending upon the developer. Sadly, this didn't really work out for 2016. We had Mighty Number 9 release, and it was probably one of the biggest disappointments of 2016, right next to No Man's Sky. Under the development and leadership of Keiji Inafune, the original creator of the Mega Man series, a lot of people were hoping for something really good, but sadly, it's not what we thought we received. Now, this doesn't mean that the game was necessarily bad, it just wasn't what people expected it to be. Being constantly compared to Mega Man, that's what everyone thought it was going to turn out to be. And sadly, that's not what we got. This goes the same for No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, it was... wow. It was hyped up really badly due to good marketing and just a really good PR team. Sean Murray, he managed the game really well and sold it really well. People followed the hype. They believed in the hype. I was one of the people that believed in the hype. I got the game day one, played it. I enjoyed it for like a good 2-3 hours. And as I was playing it, I just thought that something was going to happen. But no, it was just the same thing over and over again. No Man's Sky was probably one of the fastest selling games on Steam. But it was also one of the worst rated games on Steam as well. And that says a lot. I believe that this is just a trait that people need to become accustomed to, where they need to learn to just wait for games to release. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, you don't need to support your favorite developer or you don't need to support the game that you really want. But sometimes when you don't have a lot of information on the game, it makes it a bit hard to really justify anything about it. Just like No Man's Sky, any game that falls behind any kind of hype, it's better to just watch and look out for the development to see how the game progresses. Another issue that we all need to take into consideration is pre-ordering. Pre-ordering isn't necessarily a bad practice. It is, however, though, when the developer or publisher makes stupid DLC additions to pre-ordering, such as Final Fantasy 15. You get probably one of the best heavy beginning swords in the game, making it very easy to fight. But, that's the thing. Publishers make these items for people, so it's more of an incentive for them to get more money. EA, being one of the most cash grabby companies out there, they do that for almost every single one of their games. You have Battlefield, Mass Effect, Plants vs. Zombies, Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon Age series, in fact. They always include little bits, something that you can get with the game. And that's just not a practice that everyone should really support. Now, me personally, I don't think that pre-ordering games is always a bad thing, especially if it does come with something good. But when it's just some simple add-on that you can unlock in the game later on, it's best to just wait. Going back on talking about hype in video games, it's definitely an issue. We've had a lot of hype for a bunch of games that came out in 2016. As mentioned already, we had No Man's Sky, we had Mighty Number 9, we had Mafia 3, we had Final Fantasy 15. We had Dark Souls 3. A good game, but in my opinion, not the best in the series. But, there's a lot of games out there that also came out in 2016 that are extremely good. You have Battlefield 1, you have Overwatch. And the thing that sucks is that they're all shooters, they're not really adventure games. And the thing is that these games that are built on hype are single player experiences, and it's not necessarily good, and it can really affect the market in a lot of ways. I think that for 2017 we have to take that into consideration, especially with a new console coming out, with a bunch of different games that are coming out. It just makes it easier for everyone. Lastly, I mentioned delays. Delays are a really, really big thing. Now, 2016, we had a bunch of different delays. We had delays for Final Fantasy 15. We had delays for Last Guardian. And those were probably going to be one of the two biggest selling games for the Q4 year of 2016. But, we had a bunch of games that were delayed last year. A lot of them were pushed forward to be released in 2017. But we don't really have a final confirmation of when the game's going to actually come out. And that's a big issue as well. Not as bad as pre-ordering or following a game off of hype, but a lot of people can lose interest extremely quick. When Final Fantasy 15 was announced to be delayed, I was a bit down about it, just because I was excited to play it in the beginning of September. Now, I thought it was a good idea for it to come out in December when I'm done school and everything, so I can have time to play it. And once I got it, I really wasn't that impressed with the game. Now, it's an unpopular opinion, I know. But to me, I think Final Fantasy 15, although it's not one of the worst games I've played within the series, it definitely has one of the most flaws out of any game in the series. To me, at least. Now, I don't necessarily mean that the delay was part of the problem, but to me, I think there's a lot of things they could have worked on with that delay. I know the development team stated that they wanted another year to work on it, but obviously publishers don't work that way. They want something out, they need it out, just due to contract and whatnot. But games, they need to follow a set schedule. If a game is going to be delayed, at least show some work to it. And what sucks is that this also follows No Man's Sky as well. No Man's Sky was delayed. It was originally supposed to come out June 2016, but it got pushed to, I believe, the beginning of August, and it didn't turn out that well. Now, again, it goes back to the development team not having a bunch of time, but also just building up hype. But for Final Fantasy 15, I think that it should have taken another year of development just to see how well they could fix certain mechanics of the game. Now, I don't think that 2017 is going to be a bad year of games. We have a bunch coming out, but it's good to always know that you have these options to give yourself as a consumer to hold off on things, see how it does, and really makes you think about if you want to buy that game or not. But, it's your money. Make a smart choice with it. You never know what's going to really happen when you actually buy it. You might you might like it at the state that it's in. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of games that came out. A lot of people claim that it was broken or unstable, and I enjoyed it still. I sought to look through those little issues, especially like The Last Guardian. Last Guardian has some horrible, horrible optimization issues. And I think if it took more time, it probably could have been better. But I looked past that, and I enjoyed the game a lot. But these are some things I think that we should learn from 2016 and move forward from 2017. This is the Broke Gamer, and I hope everyone has a nice day.